Hello everyone, I hope you're all enjoying spooky season, perhaps with some treats, or maybe you're doing it like me and getting tanked while watching some of the classics. Some traditions never get old. So join me, as we take a look at one of my favorite, albeit overlooked Halloween specials. In October 2008, Cartoon Network aired The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy's Last Chance at an Afterlife, Underfist, Halloween Bash. A movie focusing on the show's side characters with a more action-oriented tone. It served as the pilot for a potential spin-off, but due to reasons I'll get into later, it remains as the sole Underfist installment. I vividly remember watching this a few times as a kid, but that's probably because I didn't have any friends and all I did was watch TV. Nerd! The film opens with grim giving narration, setting up this film's events.
But the strangest story of all is about a youth whose baby mama was a mummy and whose granddaddy was Dracula himself.
So, if you're not caught up on the deep lore of the series, Irwin's mom is like literally an Egyptian mummy, and his grandpa's Dracula. Speaking of which, Dracula, aka the best character in the entire series, answers the door for Billy, Mandy, and Irwin who are trick-or-treating.
I am a spooky witch!
I am with the Spanish Inquisition.
I don't know who decided Dracula in a kid's show should be a pervy old man, but, you know, I'm all for it.
Hey, Foxy Lady! Want to see Dracula dance?
Let's get married!
Out of sight!
He gives the trio pennies and Mandy decides to call it a night. Irwin wants to keep going though, since they're all getting older and they won't have many more Halloweens together. She doesn't fall for his guilt trip though, and he's forced to go alone. The first house he tries is the trailer of the iconic Hostel Gatto, who slowly seems to be turning into the Scotsman from Samurai Jack, now missing one of his legs. The hamster running his brain also seems to have left since he tries staking Irwin over his vampire costume. Hoss was always a little nuts, but he's about as demented as Mermaid Man in this.
My memory is not what it used to be. It used to be a unicorn.
Irwin then passes Jeff the Spider and Fred Fredburger sharing a brain cell. He tries one more house, but General Scar threatens to blow him up and Mindy tells him he's a loser. Defeated, Irwin walks alone while a power ballad plays and the credits roll.
There's no saving this night. Give up. Try to give up.
Yeah, that's probably the only time somebody like me didn't edit that gag in. It turns out that Mindy actually needs Irwin's help. There's a house giving out full-sized candy bars, and she's too afraid to knock on the door. He touches the doorknob and a portal opens, freeing an army of candy monsters, led by a marshmallow bunny that sounds just a little bit like Meatwad.
Candy monsters of the underworld, attack!
I'm making a booty call.
Also, Fred Fredburger shit in somebody's yard.
You know, I don't think those are webs at all, Fred. Yes!
The candy army fucked up though and didn't account for the toughest monster hunter in Ennsville. Well, second toughest. At first Haas fucking devastates them, but he's overwhelmed by their soda rifles. They made their second mistake and messed up Scar's lawn. He enters the fight in a power armor, and it becomes increasingly clear that spraying people with soda is not an effective attack.
Whose idea were these soda rifles? They don't do anything!
That's not entirely true. They've made my clothes all sticky and gross. Now I'm likely to get a rash. I'm afraid you'd left me no choice but to fight. Naked.
Haas and Scar continue to fight, but they're outmatched by tougher candies, and Bun Bun takes Mindy to the underworld. Haas gets his shit absolutely wrecked by this brownie thing, but after Fred Fredburger spells his name real good,
Fred Fredburger! Yes!
he and Jeff help out, and the remaining candy retreats. Irwin begs them to help him save Mindy, and they agree, but more portals open and they have to escape in Haas's Fistmobile. You know, the more I think about it, the more this version of Haas reminds me of Dark Knight Returns Batman with that physique in the tank. Irwin has some kind of nightmare, and when he wakes up, he's told that in the short time he took a nap, the entire balance of the world has shifted. Also, I like this little gag where this tiny door opens, and you expect Haas to, like, squeeze through it, but then a bigger door opens. That's nice, I like that. So now they have to go save the new president from the underworld in addition to Mindy, and Haas will only take Irwin since he doesn't trust monsters. Keep in mind that Irwin is secretly half mummy and half vampire. Why doesn't he take Scar?
I'm not a monster.
I know, but I don't trust one-eyed weirdos either.
They go through the portal and Haas is knocked out by a witch. The witch, it turns out, is Mindy, who is actually really gross and working with Bun Bun. They smash the crystal, trapping Irwin and Haas. Mindy explains that when Irwin lent her a pencil, he had given her mummy cooties, and that's why she now looks like Muscle Man's mom.
That's not even a picture of my mom! It's a picture—
Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition!
Haas is also super pissed because now he knows Irwin lied to him about being a monster. Jeff, Fred, and Scar are discussing what they should do next when it's Fred's turn to have the brain cell. Fred comes up with an idea for a team of heroes called Underfist. Jeff thinks this is the answer and they use the fist tank to burrow into the underworld. Mindy and Bun Bun explain to Irwin that his monster side is getting stronger, and when this candy apple turns rotten, so will his soul. They offer to let him join them, but he refuses. Then they inform him they're going to boil Haas alive in hot cocoa. What a way to go. Mindy prepares a potion to strengthen the candy army and sings about her trick-or-treater eaters.
Trick-or-treater eaters! Trick-or-treater eaters! Eat the trick-or-treaters!
It's no Brains by Voltaire, but it's pretty dope. Bun Bun messed up though. Never underestimate the nerdy quiet kid. Irwin unleashes his mummy vampire powers and somehow they made him look kinda badass. He saves Haas, but Haas still won't trust him. As powerful as Irwin is though, he still gets wrecked by Jeff's driving. They have a chance to escape, but Irwin still has to save the president, who is revealed to be Mandy. There was an episode of Billy and Mandy where she secretly, but not so secretly, controlled everything in town, so I guess this is just one step closer to world domination. They escape and Irwin can't stop thinking about the candy apple Mindy gave him. With the team reluctantly assembled, Mandy orders them to go out trick-or-treating to scare the monsters. In the new status quo, Grim and Billy are scientists a la Q from James Bond. Grim gives them costumes and Billy gives them a gun that will destroy any candy, but can only be shot once. Grim gives them costumes and Billy gives them a gun that will destroy any piece of candy, but only has one shot. Meanwhile, Scar sneaks off to do some double-crossing and makes a pact with Bun Bun. The trick-or-treating is a bust though, and the fractured team splits up. With the dream dead, Fred has a bit of a breakdown. Irwin tries cheering him up, but Fred takes a bite out of that caramel apple, revealing one of Bun Bun's crystals inside. So Mindy has been going around giving these apples out, and the gems inside will open up more portals. Okay, why do they need to do that? I guess I understand sneaking them into important locations like Mandy's office, but she's apparently giving them out to everybody to prepare for a final attack. But why, when they didn't need to do this to open portals before? Also, why didn't they just drill through the earth like Jeff? This is a kind of mistake I see in a lot of media with a plot point of bridging two worlds. They set up rules about how an object or portal is needed to travel between them, but they won't be consistent with it. Anyway, the portals open and a new wave of candy attacks. The gem in Irwin's possession also blows apart their ride. Irwin tries helping Haas, but he's still pissed about the monster thing and they fight. With Haas and Irwin taking care of each other, the army moves in on Jeff and Fred. So they've both had this arc not wanting to grow up, and they do a little song number about it, winning over the candy troops. But Mindy uses her magic to combine them into a kaiju, because kaijus canonically hate the stage. Irwin and Haas have to stop fighting so they can deal with this thing. Irwin saves his ass again, and Haas finally comes around to trusting him. With no option left, Delgado has to use Billy's candy weapon. I expected nothing less. Don't forget that Billy loves chocolate so much when he was turned into it he ate himself. Mindy is touched by Irwin and Haas's reconciliation and tells them that the world domination thing was Bun Bun's idea, and he needed Irwin's powers to spark the initial gem. Their moment is cut short though when Bun Bun returns with a surprise ally.
Hello, Blunderfist.
He then gives one hell of an exposition dump.
It was also me who turned Mindy into a witch by putting a witchworm in her hair. I was the monster who haunted Haas Delgado's childhood. It was also I who made Jeff's father afraid of spiders. It was I who sawed off your tusks while you were sleeping.
And I bet he killed Jesus too. Instead of dumping boiling cocoa on them, though, Scar kicks Bun Bun into the hot chocolate. Being a former supervillain himself, I guess he learned to be 10 steps ahead. So with Bun Bun's army defeated, President Mandy gives them all medals and they set up another fight. Is it just poison to hero team movies to end with a subterranean villain? And the credits roll for real this time, set to the pretty kick-ass Underfist theme song.
When monsters come to wreck your town, and you need heroes to rescue you.
And just to rub salt into the wound, the last thing you hear in the movie is this.
All that work and nothing to show for it.
Okay, that fucked pretty hard. Billy and Mandy had another movie and a couple double-length specials that were all excellent too. So, why wasn't this picked up for a full series? Billy and Mandy was one of Cartoon Network's flagship shows, and Underfist did great when it originally aired. Basically, it was corporate politics. Cartoon Network was going through a bit of a rough patch in the late 2000s. Most of the original cartoon shows had come and gone, and it would still be a few years before they had another boom in content. There was a new president pushing for a new standard with a lot of short-lived experiments. This was the guy behind all the live-action shows, and this was also when they began syndicating more cartoons made by other studios, which, aside from a few exceptions, was something they typically didn't do. There were a few hits during this period, but it was mostly shit nobody remembers. The decision to push the live-action stuff made a lot of Cartoon Network's top talent leave. Series creator Maxwell Adams later stated that it wasn't his choice to leave, though, and the gross-out humor in the special actually got him fired, which I don't get. Thanks for making this movie, people. Like, pack your shit and get out. Apparently the gross-out humor was ruining their brand, and they didn't renew his contract. So Underfist remains as the last piece of media featuring Billy and Mandy. Well, at least until Jellystone. So, thanks for watching, everybody. This was something I had wanted to talk about for a while, and I'll talk about more Cartoon Network stuff if anyone's interested. Anyway, happy Halloween, and make sure you get some of that good old-fashioned candy that's not in a wrapper from some shady house, because the best candy is the candy that lets you talk to the spirit realm.